de este espacio, gracias por estar ahí. Estamos una vez más para compartir una conversación sobre el libro que acabamos de lanzar, de Sinergias entre psicología y el coaching, ciencia y arte al servicio del ser humano, una iniciativa de Multiversity Improving Network. Y hoy vamos a entrevistar ahora en inglés pues a una de las personas que ha colaborado en este libro. En este caso, la verdad es una experta de prestigio mundial, una de las pioneras en el mundo de coaching. Vikki Brock es doctora en filosofía y tiene, bueno, pues un currículum impresionante, como diré luego en inglés cuando la esté presentando a ella. Bueno, vamos a tener una conversación espontánea con ella, pero vais a percibir enseguida qué maravilla de profesional y de persona es Vikki. Por lo tanto, no os lo perdáis. Y bueno, forma parte del elenco de superautores que tenemos para impulsar las sinergias que tiene que haber lógicas entre dos mundos maravillosos como son el mundo de la psicología y el mundo del coaching. Hello everyone, and thank you for joining us in this short conversation talking about psychology and coaching. And today we have the pleasure to have this conversation with Vikki Brock, which is really someone very important in these two fields, and also a source of continuous inspiration for all of us devoted to human development, and especially to this new book that we are presenting, which is Synergy between psychology and coaching. Which, as you know, has been, because we have been talking about this book for a while, but as you know, has been a project that has been possible thanks to the effort of the Multiversity group, and under the leadership, in this case, of Elena Perez Moreiras. Is a project in which it has been participating 59 persons coming from both fields, psychology, coaching, and also from pedagogy, and so some others. And as I said, today we have the pleasure to have one of the most, I would say, I'm sure I'm not so mistaken, one of the most international experts, because she was, Vikki has been one of the pioneers in these areas. And she's a doctor of philosophy, professional coaching, and human development from the International University of Professional Studies. She has an splendid and astonishing, awesome, I would say, CV. I don't want to read it completely because it will take us the time we have for this short conversation. But I can tell you about her that her expertise today reunited the raising of clients which are high performance and high potential leaders and organizations undergoing transformations. And Vikki, to underline one of her insights, she defines coaching as raising awareness so people are at conscious choice, which is one of the main philosophical points of this new project that we are presenting. Well, Vikki, of course, she has written many studies. She has written several books. One of the most, as I say, inspirational works of her own that Elena has used for this project is a paper that Vikki, very important for all of us, launched that called The Past, Present, and Future of Coaching. And this is what Elena had the idea of inviting Vikki to write a chapter in this book, talking about the roots of the coaching science, and which goes back to philosophy for someone that maybe doesn't remember or hasn't even recall about how important all this development has been. No, but I want Vikki to tell us herself, that she knows very well all these matters. So Vikki, welcome. Thank you for joining us in this small space. How are you?
I'm doing wonderful. I'm speaking to you from California aboard my boat that's been my home for 20 some years.
Well, thank you so much. And I was just introducing very lightly, of course, your work as part of a very important part of this wonderful project, Synergy of Psychology and Coaching, because I would like to start this conversation asking you, Vikki, do you think we are in the right moments where the synergies are possible after all these years of fighting and not joining together all these sciences that work in parallel, but not always have been as together as we like?
Absolutely. And let me go back to what you said about philosophy. Philosophy is the core foundation of everything. It's also the foundation of psychology.
Mm.
So we come from the same place. And psychology as we know it today started out about 1879 from the medical profession and was focused on the scientific perspective. Coaching emerged a lot later, and the second most important route for coaching is humanistic psychology, believe it or not. But humanistic psychology was not really recognized by the normal psychology because the normal psychology was the illness model. And humanistic psychology was about self-actualization, choice, responsibility, a client partnership with the practitioner. So with humanistic psychology not being recognized by mainstream psychology, that allowed coaching to be born. So a lot of this fighting or contention early on was because coaching was trying to carve out and say, look, we're not the illness model. We're something else. And somewhere in that got lost the connection to the humanistic psychology, which was also having the same fight. And absolutely, I mean, from day one, I used to read humanistic psychology books for fun. My background is business. I got to coaching through business. But I knew all of this about the growth of humans and everything was so critical to being a powerful coach. And I would hope that more mainstream coaches and mainstream psychologists recognize that there is a place for both. Both are key in the world today.
Thank you. You explained it very well, and it's true. It's as you explain it, it looks like a natural evolution of the three of them, no? Philosophy, psychology, and then coaching. And now that coaching, which is the newest of the three, no, that's more mature, which are in a point. What do you think is the real challenge now that all the science devoted to human being have to face and to compromise with, Vikki?
So are you asking about the challenge for coaching or the challenge for humans?
Yeah. No, for the psychology and the coaching working together today, we have. We are facing a challenge. We are immersed in a challenge, all of us. What is the human challenge? Let's say there is no fight. We assume the synergy has to be a reality. What is the real challenge that all that we are devoted, committed to human being? What is the main challenge we have in facing the future now? Is there any special thing that we have to consider now regarding, what is going on, and that this is a new starting point for me. What is the future? How do you feel like the future, Vikki?
Yeah, I firmly believe that coaching, and I will include in that the positive and humanistic psychology aspects,
Yes.
is really the next, it's reconnecting us with our humanity. And I believe that that's a lot of what's facing humans today, as well as society and the world today, is we seem to have gotten away from what is our humanity? Who are we as humans? What are we here on earth for? And my beliefs are it's not to dominate other humans, it's to get along, it's to grow ourselves, it's to be here in love and peace. And there's a lot going on in the earth today that deals with power over other people, which I'm very concerned about. I believe coaching and psychology have a huge can have a huge benefit and a huge impact and influence on the world today by staying true to what we believe about humans. Humans are both good and evil. I think we can help bring out the good and the best in humans. We can do it by starting to work closer together and burying the hatchet, not fight each other, but find where our commonalities are and move forward with those.
I think it's a great message, recovering or looking for our humanity also with the technological challenges we are facing today, no? And also, as you pointed out, with the conflict we can feel, no, in the environment, which is not so nice, no?
It's global.
Yeah.
It's not just one country. I mean, just in the last 3 weeks, believe it or not, I have been approached by several people who are starting a coaching movement in Iran. And they're having the first national conference of coaching in Iran.
Incredible.
So I believe that as coaches and psychologists, we can rise above all of this stuff going on in the world. Connect. I had a colleague once who was Israeli, and she connected with a coach who was from Palestine.
Mm-hmm.
They formed a huge bond and found out that we're all basic humans and we can choose to get along and we can make a difference. And I think that's what's the biggest challenge for coaching and psychology as we move forward, is to remember that and to step up to that challenge.
Yes, I mean, I really agree with you. And also I was thinking about the spirit of this project, no, of this book, which is more than the book itself, because this is collaboration spirit that we know that Elena has. And maybe it's the time for thinking about collaboration, no? Synergies, collaborations in every field, no? In every field of science, of knowledge, and of work, professional, personal, no? Maybe we can foresee a future of more collaboration need, more energy, focus on what is important, and not just lost energy. This is with something that I mean, human, we really um, don't put attention on how important is to focus on what is the objective. Humanity is the objective. And what else? What else would you add, Vikki, for a new world that we want to construct all together?
Well, one of the keys, I mean, there's two of the key skills that coaches use:
Yes.
active listening
Yes.
and asking questions. That forms the foundation of Socrates' dialogues, the philosopher Socrates' dialogue. And so that's where I think if we go back to the roots of listening, asking questions, and having dialogue, and we do this not just in our professions, we do it in our lives, much like this collaboration with 59 different people from different walks of life, different backgrounds, different countries. But as long as we can do that and keep the dialogue going, keep the communication going, I believe we have a chance.
Yes, this is why I really think, I'm sure you share my feeling, that this book we have prepared is very useful tool for professional, for coaches and for psychologists and everyone that want to have a better insight on the other's field, but also for anyone.
Yes.
Anyone interested in the human being, which should be everyone. Again, no? And it's very easy book. It's very easy book. It's a book with many points of view from different countries, as you pointed out, different knowledge of professional development, many perspective, which is the beauty of this project again. No?
And this project is an example of exactly what I'm talking about. And whether all of the different perspectives agree or not is not the point. It's that we can freely put the perspectives out there for consideration. Look, people are smart. The readers of this book, they're smart. And it's not up to us to make the choice for them as to what we show and what we don't. We put the perspectives out there, let them choose what works for them. And that's the beauty of this kind of a project.
Yeah, there is no a single path, but all of them from a natural movement go to the same place. Even if you don't know it, just let you go to where you have to go, no?
Exactly. And none of the paths are straight.
Hmm.
They're all weaving, and sometimes we'll cross in our paths and we'll go other ways. But yes, I agree with you. I believe we're all leading to the same place eventually.
I like your, how you express it, because I like you. I feel you are very open. This is why you have had the willingness along your careers to research and to investigate different disciplines throughout the history, no? Trying to really understand what is the essence of all of them. No? So I can feel it from you. And I think this is marvelous. And this is a spirit that we all would have to have, we need to have, because being tied in compartments doesn't lead to the real truth if we can ever intend to reach the real truth, which is impossible. At least we have to try to be closer and closer, no?
Yeah, and that goes back to my definition of coaching, to raise awareness so each is a conscious choice. When I started studying the history of coaching, it was many years ago, almost 20 years ago now. It was because several of my coaching friends, Thomas Leonard, Laura Whitworth, and others, would say that each of them would say, I discovered coaching, I created it. I knew that wasn't true. I knew we rested on the shoulders of all these other professions, psychology, philosophy, business, sports, all these things. And that it was just, the time was right on earth for coaching to emerge.
Yes.
And the pioneers of coaching came from all these disciplines and came together to create this thing called coaching that is still influenced by psychology, business, and sports, but coaching has also influenced all of these disciplines. In my opinion, they're influencing each other for the best. But that's how I got into this, was being open and curious.
Right. And also some of the still surprises me about after 30 years of profession that I have myself. I'm also a coach. I'm an editor now. I have published already 300 books, Vikki, and also surprises me. The more you know, the more you are prone to be tempted by falling into the ego thing. So forget about the ego, collaborate. Center yourself into the important things. You are doing a marvelous job. You are in the right field, which is fascinating, coaching, philosophy, whatever, no? Serving human beings. Forget about all this stuff, all this rubbish.
Well, you're right though. See, and the ego is something, and from psychology, I'm sure you know, but the ego, I find the ego, if I am happy in my life, living according to my values and beliefs, and honoring myself and others, there's no room for an ego. The ego, it comes from fear and from lack. And so if I tend to myself and I tend to my being, my spiritual being and everything, there's no need for the ego. And so I'll look at people with, if the ego takes over, well, then there's probably something lacking in their life. Maybe they're ripe for coaching or happiness psychologist approach.
Right. They need the book. That's for sure.
They need the book.
Well, thank you so much, Vikki. It's really a pleasure having you here, having you in the book and talking to you. I hope you will have more opportunities because this is a very short space. I don't want to have you more, but I'm sure we will find each other very soon in the future. It will be a pleasure again from me. And
I am just so honored to be a part of a project like this. This is the kind of thing that feeds my soul. So thank you.
No, thank you always, and for being like you are, and for all your marvelous work.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. See you soon.